I describe myself as a person who is trying to bring in some changes in the way policy is being addressed and delivered. And I'm just a small civil servant trying to fit in that entire chain and trying to make a small difference in the way how people's life is there. I feel it's a big privilege and honor to be part of the civil services, particularly Indian Administrative Service, because we get the opportunity to contribute to how to improve the people's life actually. So I feel it's a big honor and privilege to be part of the Indian Administrative Service. I would have become an IT professional. I was working in a private company, so I would have continued to do that, and I would have most probably become some software professional and specialized in some specific fields in cybersecurity. It was extremely overwhelming actually. So after a lot of effort and training, then when I was first posted as sub collector of Idiki, so I joined in Painao. I felt it's a huge responsibility that God has given. I was just praying that God gives me sufficient strength to fulfill those responsibilities. So it was an overwhelming moment. The support given by my wife, my parents were all there running in front of me. So I just thought when I finished the services, I should do justice to it. And I was just praying to God that please give me strength to fulfill this responsibility. In 2018 August, we had the floods in Ernakulam district. Before that August floods, we had flood in July also. But just when we thought the floods were all over, once again the massive rain started, and in Ernakulam we had about 900 camps in August, just 16th, 17th August after the Independence Day, and about at one point of time 4 lakh people were housed, in those camps. So it was a massive responsibility, which was a great public moment actually. Everyone supported each other. Public came out voluntarily to help. Young people came out to help. So I feel that was one of the biggest challenge. And after the floods, also we were able to do massive reconstruction, particularly in houses and the way livelihoods had all got displaced. For example, waste collection no, a lot of animals had died. Then the houses were all damaged. So reconstruction had to start. So the flood handling and just the events after the floods, that was one of the biggest challenges I faced so far. Many times in government and also in public life, I find that lot we come with a lot of ideas, but people don't actually agree with our ideas. A lot of people are negative in a sense. They're not receptive to ideas itself. So that's one of the biggest challenges I also face. The best way I feel to address those things is to have a strong sense of conviction in what we believe, and then keep moving forward. And as we go forward, many of these people who had initial apprehensions try to join us. And once they see the early outcomes which are successful, then many of them join us. And that way, actually, a small idea becomes a massive force as we proceed. So I feel to address negativity, the best way is to continue doing things to the best of your ability and try to prove others wrong. So that is the thing. I feel handling 2018 floods and 1 year post that the reconstruction activities gave me a lot of satisfaction. The way people's lives were affected, we had to do a lot of interventions to ensure that they come back to their normal lives. both personal and also professional. They were involved in a lot of jobs like in agriculture, in small trade, in normal employment, IT industries. Everyone was getting impacted. So one is to ensure that their personal life is back on track, and second one is to ensure that their professional life, that is their livelihood, is also back on track. So addressing it immediately a year after the floods, I would say, is one of the most satisfying achievements. Sometimes I feel on weekends I am extremely lazy. That's what my parents and so I try to, maybe I thought some of the aspects in the weekends. I nowadays I try to spend more time with my children, kids. I have a daughter and a son, so I try to play with them and spend a lot of time with them. And I would like to spend more time during the weekend with them, because I think again that is a privilege which God gives human beings, and as a father I also have to do justice to them. So that is one thing I would like to change for better by spending a little more time with them. I feel today, if you see in India, we have a lot of demographic dividend. That is, a lot of people, young people are coming out with a lot of ideas, particularly in the startup space, in technology, and elsewhere. I feel if we are able to direct them in the right way, equip them with skills and competencies, then I feel in the next 2 3 decades we'll be one of the topmost countries in the world. I feel as an administrator, what I try to do is to encourage this generation by skilling them, by providing them with opportunities, so that they can become, a force in themselves, and then start, become entrepreneurs, become businessmen, start creating jobs, and start creating change. So my change, more in many cases, what I try to do is to empower this youth in various programs. Inspiration is whenever we try to do this policy issues, particularly at the common, when it impacts the common man. Many times we get a call, mail, or whenever we have a chance to interact, they give genuine feedback, and sometimes that feedback is extremely satisfying. And that is the biggest source of inspiration. Sometimes when we hardly know anyone, someone says that this intervention of yours was able to make a change in my life. About that, when we hear that, that's one of the biggest source of self satisfaction, which also is an inspiration. I feel the change, to see the change in a person's, other person's life, is something which is biggest inspiration. Well, my parents, my wife, my grandmother, they all have been the pillars on whose strength I have grown over a period of time. So definitely my parents and my wife, who has contributed and supports me throughout, they are the people who I admire, because they are the like the former president of United States, Thomas Jefferson, says we stand on the shoulders of giants. Right. So it's that's the we achieve a lot of things, but it doesn't mean that it is all because of us. It is because of a lot of people who have built it over a period of time, particularly our parents and forefathers. The thing that I admire, or the people who admire, are my parents, my family, my wife and children, who with who support, whatever I am able to do, I am doing. Well, no one in specific. People have inspired me at many times at the central level whenever we see major transformations which are happening at the state level. At various points of time, I have been fortunate to have good bosses also, chief secretaries and secretaries. So I look up to many of these people, in which in certain episodes they have been leading from the front, taking risky, courageous decisions which is good for the state and the people. So I have a huge list of people who I feel I admire for the great work that they have done for the country. Favorite destination is my home, Salem in Tamil Nadu. So where I like to go whenever I find time. In the past I have read Paulo Coelho's books, particularly Alchemist and other books, which I read almost for 10, 15 years back, and those are have been a lot of inspiration in the way, for example, Paulo Coelho's Alchemist book is talking about a boy who makes a lot of changes in his life, and that is an inspiration that everyone can, maneuver their career or life the way they think or believe strongly that they want to do. Similarly, I'm also fond of reading many of the poems of Rabindranath Tagore. Like, for example, one poem about stray birds, which is almost a century old. It's a small poem, but every time I read, I feel, I cannot but wonder how beautifully the words have been coined. Another favorite poem is about Khalil Gibran, who's a Lebanon author, about the Prophet and other books where he talks about various themes. So these are some of the books which have inspired, particularly the poetic books, where I like the way these great authors have tried to use English and used imagination to describe ordinary events that we see every day. When we come to office, we see a lot of these natural events which are there, but for the way the poet thinks and describes that, like a falling leaf in a autumn, or a raindrop falling from a leaf on the sand. So these are the things I feel are extremely attractive and gives a lot of satisfaction when you go through them. I When I was doing engineering, I was preparing for placements, So this was, we had to prepare a lot of questions when the recruiters ask, what is your favorite so and so. Karke. Then in an interview, I'll not say the company's name, I had one favorite quote. It is from the movie Sholay, where this villain Gabbar Singh, one of the biggest villains of Indian Bollywood industry, he says a quote, "Jo dar gaya, wo mar gaya." Karke. So that is one of my favorite quote. It is there since the first whenever from time immemorial, whenever I have seen these movies, that one who is afraid is dead. So it's an extreme sentence, but that's that I feel that there's no purpose in getting afraid and not dreaming for for whatever you want. So we should never be afraid. So that is one of my favorite sentences. Jo dar gaya, so mar gaya. For the aspirants who are following their dreams, trying to become civil servants for tomorrow, my advice is be confident in your abilities. At the same time, try to do course correction. That is, try to see where your weaknesses and try to adjust them. And whenever you see a weakness, don't have self doubt. Be confident again and try to build on from your failures. And ultimately, this exam tests your stamina, mental, the tolerance. So therefore, one is a long marathon race. So the what is more important is the stamina, the ability to self-correct and keep improving. And be confident. I'm sure all your dreams would come true if you are confident in your own abilities.